Hi, I'm Brendan for AVT.bike, and in this video I'm going to go through what differentiates the various headset standards. I'll then break down which ones are available from which manufacturers, so that you know what your options are once you've figured out what the right headset for your bike is. Let's get started. Okay, so first we'll start with the most classic, most recognizable type of headset, which is the EC style. In this case, a Chris King no thread set, commonly known as an EC34. This is the 1/8" style, so this would be an EC34. Chris King does make a tapered no thread set, which uses external cups, but for different size head tube, generally a 34 and 44. But this is probably the most recognizable type of headset, and it uses a bearing that is inside a press-in cup, but which sits outside of the head tube. So the head tube goes there, the cup presses into it, and the bearing is out here. So the next style is a combination headset, and this is probably the most commonly available one of these. This is a Chris King Inset 7. This style of headset, known as a ZS EC headset, is also available from White Industries and Phil Wood. And it uses a larger diameter external cup for the lower headset cup. So this one for 44mm head tube and 1.5" tapered steerer tube. But then the upper cup is what's called a ZS style, zero stack. And it actually has the bearing inside the cup that gets pressed into the frame. So the stack height is much lower. What's sticking out of the frame is what you see over here. So it's very, very minimal. These are also available in full zero stack configurations, such as this Inset 2, which is for a 44mm upper head tube and a 56mm lower portion of the head tube. And you can see the difference here with how much headset sticks out below the steerer tube. With EC, it's this whole portion here, and with the ZS, it's that little teeny portion there. So the head tubes, this can be a confusing thing when you're looking at frame specs, because a frame that's designed for this type of headset would have a much longer head tube when compared with a frame that's designed for this type of headset. So neither here nor there in this particular discussion, but something worth noting. Finally, we get the IS style of headset. And this uses drop-in bearings that are angled to fit into the frame, center themselves in the frame. And Chris King didn't do this type of headset for a very long time because frame manufacturers' tolerances are tricky to assure that they're very good and all that sort of thing. Anyway, there were lots of reasons, but they finally did start doing them. They don't make ones to fit every single frame though, and it is important to check your frame manufacturer's specs to figure out which type of headset you need. There are many things to think about, from the angle and outer diameter of the bearings to the amount of bearing that actually sticks up above the top of the head tube, because you want the gap to be minimal, but you want there to be a small gap between the top of the head tube and the bottom of this top cap. So Chris King and White Industries both offer IS style headsets, and between the two of them, chances are you'll be able to find one that will fit your bike. But these are definitely the trickiest of the headsets to figure out which one you need in general, because there are more options. One final thing to talk about is adapter crown races. So this is a Chris King Devolution crown race that's designed to work on an 1 1/8" straight steerer, the one that would normally take this crown race, but it's designed to work with this headset, the one that would normally take this much larger crown race for 1.5 inches. So this can be a really handy thing if you have a frame that's designed around a tapered steer tube, such as for a suspension fork, and maybe you want to put a straight steer tube rigid fork on there. These crown races will make it possible. These are also available for 1.25 inch steer tubes to size up to 1.5 inch headsets. So super handy little adapter plates that'll make fitting different forks on your bike much easier.